Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. My name is Asad Yaqub and I am from Lahore, Pakistan, and I teach Ielts here in Lahore. Once again, I welcome you all to my Ielts speaking video. Happy now? I'm just looking at those faces, those of my students who requested me to make videos on speaking. So this is going to be a general video about Ielts speaking. I'll give you some tips and guidelines how to improve your speaking and how to get your desired band score in Ielts speaking. Let's take a start. The first thing is, or the first tip is, have daily discussion with your friends, colleagues, or your partners who are taking Ielts test. Maybe on my speaking video you can leave a comment, I need an Ielts speaking partner, right? So then see, the partner should also have good English, okay? Otherwise the level of your English will go down as well. So you need to have daily discussion with friends. If you go to any Ielts preparation center, you can have discussion with your class fellows there, even with your teacher you can have discussion and try to speak as much English as possible. There are some applications, so you can install or download those applications and you can even speak English over there. But remember, you need to have daily discussion with your friends. Then when you go to take your Ielts speaking test, you need to dress appropriately, and your dress should be appropriately neat and clean. Why? Because when you go for your speaking test, it's a speaking interview. It's important to impress the examiner, and you know, examiner is a human being. It's just not the language. Sometimes it's your personality that influences the examiner, and then examiner start observing you from a certain band score or from a good band score, observing you from the point of view of a good band score. So that's why dressing is important, okay? Do your best in your dressing. Then you need to know the exact time and location of your interview. I don't need to explain that. You already know when they are going to call you for your interview, the time, location and all that. You can reach there. Be aware of the exact procedure of the test. Now, I've explained that in my videos many times. There is section 1. They'll ask you around 5-6 questions. Then there is section 2. They'll give you a cue card, pen and paper, and 1 minute time. You got to prepare and then you got to answer. Then section 3 is called discussion. So you need to know what is the procedure. You go there, then you go to the examiner's room, and there they start the test. They record your test and all that. You should be familiar with all this procedure. Next, have your passport or ID card with you. Your passport must be with you. Your ID card must be with you because they check your identification through your passport or ID card. Arrive before the appointed time, a little before the appointed time, like half hour before. Don't just reach there. Your test is at 11 o'clock and you reach there at 7 a.m. because you are an eager beaver or you are overly excited about your Ielts speaking test. Don't do that. If they give you reporting time is 11 o'clock, try to reach there at 10:30 or 10:40, something like that, okay? Next, before entering the room of examiner, stop and take 3 deep breaths, like okay, 3 long deep breaths before entering the room of the examiner. Alright, now after that you need to remain standing until you are asked to be seated. Examiner will say, gentlemen, please sit down or be seated. So when examiner asks you, then you should sit down. It's a courtesy actually. Otherwise there is no marking criteria that you say, I sat down without the examiner asking me to sit down and I got low band. There isn't any marking criteria about that, but it's a general courtesy. You've got to be courteous and polite. Use a natural greeting and shake hands if you are male and examiner is male. I mean, if same gender, you can shake hand, and if opposite gender, then you can see the culture of your country if it is allowed. Otherwise, if you see examiner is not going to approach you for shaking hand, then you don't need to shake hand and sit down. And if there is too much distance between you and examiner, then don't just say, okay, shake hand. shake hand with me. No, not like that, okay? So you can use a natural greeting, that is, first say, may I come in? Good morning or good evening. Now don't be romantic. Good morning, examiner sweetheart. Okay. Or you say, good afternoon, my little pie, or something like that. Don't do it, don't do it. Just you see, good morning, good evening, good afternoon. And then, where shall I sit? You may ask. They will tell you over there. Okay. And they say, how are you? I'm very well, thank you. How are you? Like that. Okay, next, IELTS speaking test is an interview, not an ordinary conversation. So don't be too casual. Don't be frank with the examiner. Don't try to be too much frank with the examiner that you take examiner for granted and all that. All these things will go against you. So I tell you again, IELTS speaking interview is not an ordinary conversation. It's a test. It's a speaking interview. So don't be informal. Don't be casual. Don't be funny over there. Don't sound funny over there. All that will be negative. You will entertain the examiner. The examiner will laugh at you. But at the end, it will be you who is going to get the low band score for that. So you will have to face the music if you're going to do anything like that. Next, you got to project energy and enthusiasm. There should be energy in your voice, energy in your eyes, energy in your actions, movements. Like, you know, I'm talking to you now energetically and I'm enthusiastic about making this video. If I'm lacking energy, then I can sound like this. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in this video I'm going to tell you that you have to boost your energy for your IELTS speaking test, and you have to be enthusiastic about your IELTS speaking when you go to take the test. Okay, not like this, not like this. Energy and enthusiasm. Two E's. Energy, enthusiasm. Energy, enthusiasm. At the weekends, I usually go outside with my friend. I've got a fantastic company of 3 friends and we always enjoy and we do most of the things together. You are answering like this. Okay. My favorite color is red and I like this color very much because it's a romantic color, and then you can go on. So your answers should be enthusiastic answers, and your answers should be full of energy, the voice, the body language and all that stuff. Next, be willing to talk. One of my students, she went to take her IELTS speaking test. She was not willing to talk and examiner asked her around 20 questions and every time she was giving very short answers and examiner was saying why not, why not. And then she told me, sir, examiner was crazy and the examiner was asking me why. And then I realized when she got low band score that she was not giving proper answers. That's why examiner was saying why. Okay. I mean, if examiner does why during your speaking test, when the result comes out, it will be you who will say hi. Okay, so please be careful. If examiner says a lot of Y's, you will say a lot of I's at the end of your exam when you get the result. So be willing to talk, be willing to speak. Next, stay on the topic. Do not give irrelevant answer. Do not go beyond the topic or do not deviate from the topic. In speaking part 1, your answer should be a crispy answer. 4-5 sentences. That's it. Do not try to put your answer or do not try to put your prepared answer into that question. That's going to be quite negative. If examiner doubts or if examiner has a suspicion that you're giving a prepared answer, they will not accept it. They will reject your answer and as a result, you'll get low bands. So then don't say that I learned many answers and still I got low band, because there is a marking criteria for cramming in writing as well as in speaking. So you have to be willing to talk and stay on the topic. The next step is look at the examiner and maintain eye contact when possible. Just look at the examiner, maintain active eye contact with the examiner. Now I'm talking to you, I'm maintaining very good eye contact with the camera. that is in front of me, and you think I'm maintaining eye contact with you because you are looking at me and I'm looking back at you. This is how you need to look into the eyes of the examiner, and don't look here and there, don't look over the head of the examiner and all that. The next is take advantage of every question to show that you are an interesting and informed person. Informed person means you have full information about the question the examiner is asking you. If they ask you about your weekends, you are informed, you know about your weekends. If they ask you about your favorite shopping mall, you are informed, you know about your favorite shopping mall. If they ask you about your hometown, you are informed, you know very well about your hometown. So you have to give the examiner a feeling that I am an informed person and I know how to answer the questions. You got to take advantage of every question to show that you are an interesting and informed person. Use good body language. Now as you are sharing your idea, there will be a table, that side examiner, where you are sitting, and where I am sitting there will be you, or where you are sitting there will be you, and where I am sitting there will be examiner. So you can use good body language. First of all, I would like to say, just appropriately, don't overuse that. There is no marking criteria for your body language. That's why don't overdo it. Okay, but you can still use your body language to express your ideas. As I'm talking to you, at the same time I'm using my body language. In the same way, you guys can use your body language. Use descriptive words. That's a very good thing. Use exciting words that convey emotion. The words that convey emotion, like I love going to the cinemas, right? I love watching TV. I adore, I'm keen on, and all that. So you can use descriptive words and words that have some emotion. Don't use boring words like good, yes it's very good, it's too bad, or okay. Good, bad, okay should not be used in IELTS speaking. These are the boring words. Instead of that, you can use some exciting words. I can give you an example. Like you can say brilliant, superb, marvelous, admirable, fantastic, fabulous, amazing. Or you can say smashing, absorbing, dazzling, incredible, unbelievable. The experience was unbelievable. The food was so yummy that I couldn't believe myself. Or you can use breathtaking. The view from the top of the mountain was breathtaking, right? Spectacular, sensational, and the words like that. So try to use some emotional words, some words that express your emotion. Remember, in your IELTS speaking test, you have to try to use collocations to sound more natural. Now, collocation is a group of words that often come together. The words that are used together. So if you use collocations, your language will look natural, your language will sound natural, and hence you'll be able to get good bands in your speaking. Some of the collocations are like absolutely delicious, absolutely amazing, absolutely clear, totally different. Now totally different, they make a collocation. These words often come together. Amazingly beautiful, right? That city was amazingly beautiful, strikingly beautiful, highly successful, highly intelligent, highly skilled, immensely popular. That activity is immensely popular in my hometown. That activity is immensely difficult to perform. Incredibly lucky, incredibly difficult, incredibly beautiful, extremely important, extremely useful, extremely complicated, extremely beautiful. So try to use collocations and these type of words. Definitely your band score will increase in IELTS speaking. Okay, still the video is not finished. I need to explain few more things, and this is a complete workshop on IELTS speaking, and I hope you would enjoy this. Otherwise you attend the lectures. Lectures are also of hours and 2 hours, 1 hour, 2 hours and all that. So this is a lecture on IELTS speaking. Anyways, keep in mind that in part 1 and 2 of the test, the examiner cannot talk to you freely. There are the questions Examiner reads the questions and asks you. Right? There is cue card in part 2. Examiner gives you the cue card and you got to speak. He or she must follow a set of questions that is determined in advance of your test. But in part 3, the examiner can talk with less restriction. Examiner can say, why not? Okay, why do you think so? Alright, something like that. So in part 3, the examiner can even ask you the counter questions as well. So be prepared for that. Keep a steady pace. I mean, don't try to be too fast. Don't try to be too slow. Just keep a steady pace, the normal speed. Now this is my normal speed. Whenever I speak English, I speak like this. This is my normal speed. If I go to take my Ielts speaking test, I'm going to speak the same way. Don't try to make yourself slow or even fast. That you say, okay, I want to be fluent, that's why I'm going to speak fast. If you speak fast, very soon you will be blank. If you speak slowly, the examiner will have a feeling that there is something wrong and you are trying to speak less sentences and all that stuff. So you should have a natural speed, and it doesn't matter even if you speak slower or even a little faster, that doesn't matter, but be your natural self. You know, whenever you try to be unnatural, definitely it shows. So you don't want to show anything like that to the examiner. Don't speak too softly, speak up. Well, in my free time, mostly I watch television because I love watching television and it's one of my favorite activities. My favorite color is green because green is a wonderful color. Trees are green, there is greenery all around us, and this color is very soothing for my eyes. That's why I like green color. See how soft I am? Don't be soft in your Ielts speaking test. Okay, if naturally or according to your age you are soft, it's fine, but you need to try to speak up. Don't speak too up, don't speak too loudly. They ask you question, what's your name? My name is Muhammad Asad Yaqub. Alright, what do you do at the weekend? Oh, at the weekend, first of all, don't do like that, okay? Jats and Punjabis and all that, don't talk so loudly. Just the normal thing. I mean, in the room, examiner should hear you properly. The voice machine should catch you properly. That's what you need to do. If you are too soft, there will be problem for the examiner, and examiner's problem will create a big problem for you afterwards. Okay, anyways, so don't speak too softly and speak up. Make your voice more interesting by lifting your voice a little higher. Explain names or words which are used in your own language. If you say something, for example, my favorite dish is biryani. It's a dish which is made with rice and chicken, and it's usually very spicy. Understand? So the words or phrases from your native language which you must tell them, you have to explain those names or those words which are used in your own language. Try to rephrase. So it is acceptable if you don't know any word, try to rephrase that. If the word slips out of your mind, don't start thinking what was that word. Try to rephrase that. Keep in mind that the range of tenses, that's the next thing, as well as the appropriate use of them is important in all parts of the speaking test. When examiner asks you a question, you must see what tense is it. Is it present, past or future? And then answer accordingly. Okay, try to speak smoothly and continuously. There should not be and as. For example, every Sunday I go to watch a movie with my friends and I like it very much. Okay, don't just do that. Speak smoothly and continuously. If there are ers and ahs in your language, overcome them. You have no idea, because of your ers and ahs, you'll be getting very low band score in Ielts speaking. If you have pauses, try to fill them. You can fill the pauses with some phrases, but if you overuse it, again it's very dangerous. For example, examiner asks you a question, instead of doing you can say, that's an interesting question, but I would suggest do not comment about the question of the examiner, because examiners know this person is trying to get some time to answer the question, and that's a very interesting question. I was expecting that question from you. Thank you very much for asking me this question. This is my favorite topic and I would like to answer this. Why not? I like talking about this very thing. If you talk like that, you will never get good bench score and you are distracting the examiner. Next, use a wide range of structures and linking words. I taught you linking words in my previous videos. You got to use them. Speak clearly and don't worry about your accent because there is no marking criteria for accent. Your pronunciation should be correct. If you make a mistake, don't worry, possibly correct yourself and keep going. For example, I did not go there. I mean, you can correct yourself. For example, you say, I was not invited. Up to that, it's fine. It's not at the end you say, oh, that very sentence I spoke, that was wrong. This is the correction. Please correct that. Oh, I am Jat. Not like that. If you don't understand a question, speak and ask in a positive way. This is very, very important in speaking part 3 or maybe sometimes in part 1. If you do not understand the question, speak and ask in a positive way. You can say, you mean by saying, okay, I'd like to say, or would you please repeat the question? Would you please repeat the question, and then examiner is going to repeat the question. So be very kind and very polite with the examiner. That's all. Thank you very much indeed. I'm sorry this was a long video, but it was quite useful. Every point I told you, after that you don't need to watch any other video on IELTS speaking. Just practice, take your test and you'll get good bench score. If you like this video, hit the like button and don't forget to subscribe my this channel Asad Yaqub and my other channel Asad Yaqub Vlogs. I also teach IELTS online. If you want to join my online IELTS classes, my WhatsApp number is given. You can contact me for that. And I also offer online IELTS writing correction service. If you want to subscribe to writing correction service, just send a message to my WhatsApp number and I'll reply you. Asad Yaqub wishes you all the best with your IELTS speaking. May you get a fantastic bench score in IELTS. I mean, that fantastic bench score should be surprising for you as well. Pleasantly surprising. Take good care of yourselves. Allah Hafiz.